Hit me.
And here we are with Johnny Mnemonic, a George Gomez game from 1995, based on a, not Keanu Reeves' best movie, but definitely a damn good pinball machine. I'm very excited to start this restoration. Luckily, I've got my time on the game, so I can go a good while without having the major urge to play it. But first things first, it's time to take it all apart. Here we go. Day 1. We are going to begin disassembly of this machine. I do not know the extent of the damage yet, but the plan is by the end of at least this one, when I say this one, I mean like maybe this video or at least today's work, I want to have the Playfield out of the cabinet and the cabinet ready to be stripped down. That is my goal. We will see if we get there. Here we go. So looking at my translite, we are missing art right here and over here where that moves up and down. So, not to my standards, I will need a new translite. Alright guys, just want to give you guys some closer footage of what I'm going on right here with my Johnny. Looks like the translite is definitely going to need to be replaced. I've got 1, 2, and then 3. These areas right here, there's no sense of trying to touch that up or repair it. It's just a translite, and it's definitely not going to be very appealing, so going to need to get a replacement of that. It doesn't look like any of the plastic around this is damaged, so that's a perk. Usually these things will get all dried up and crustied and start breaking off if they've been in a bad condition, but luckily that one looks pretty good. I think in my first episode I go over the boards. There is nothing major wrong with these boards or anything. I think the only thing I had to deal with was just the batteries. More than likely by the end of this, I'm going to put NVRAM into this one. So as far as like board condition and everything like that, these are fine. But as of right now, I've been recently contacted about trying out some new aftermarket boards for the Williams machines. That's going to be obviously further down the road, but when I get these boards, I'm definitely going to try them out and let you know how I feel about them and how they function with this particular game. Alright, I think I'm ready to take some pictures and then get this back box taken off. This is the current state of the Playfield. I have not disassembled anything just yet. My goal at this point is to remove this back box and have the Playfield able to be removed. And that's what I'm going to start doing next. And all I'm doing here, I mean, I was going to take pictures, but I'm pretty sure that I've got this all down now. I don't think I'm going to have to take pictures, but I'm still going to. I'm not going to get too cocky here, because eventually I'm going to be throwing this into the dishwasher to get this wiring harness all cleaned up. But there's no issues with the boards. They all look pretty damn solid. Good old high quality Harbor Freight batteries going right there, but they do the job. Alright, start taking some pictures and getting these boards out of here. Got my ribbon cables removed. Now what I'm going to go about doing is, I've already got the DMD removed right here as well. Those are going to be going over there. It's already there. So what I'm going to be doing here is photographing all the boards and all the connections. Then I'm going to be removing the boards, and the boards are going to be going into this box right here and covered up because they're going to be out of this machine for a good while, and I'm just going to keep them covered up in this box so I don't have to be concerned about any more dirt or anything like that getting in them, and just kind of keeps them protected from any other things that might be going on. I'm not going to leave them open to the elements, but this wire harness seems pretty dirty. So now it's just a matter of, like I said, documenting, removing all the connectors, getting the boards out, feeding the wires down into the cabinet. As you can see, all boards have been removed and they are now in the box down here. Going to be closing all that up. Time to get the back panel, the light panel right here, taken off, and all the wires fed down to the bottom. Got all the boards removed, wiring harness is turned over. Now I'm going to be removing my back box light panel, and that's simply just by removing this Phillips screw right here, and it should be able to just lift up and come right out. After that, going to be removing these zip ties, feeding my wire harness down into the cabinet, and then I should be able to take off the back box. Gotta keep that hardware in sight so I know where to go with it. That's out. Remove these zip ties if I can access them. Alright, zip ties are removed. I want to say that the only thing that's holding this back box to the cabinet are the 6 bolts that are on here from the hinges. So let me get the wire harness completely out of the way first. That wire harness feels very, oh yeah, it is very dirty. That, ugh. Alright, so let's get this back box taken off. There we go. Wow, those are on there almost finger tight on all of them. That was a little worrying. I like to try to keep as much of the hardware together as I possibly can, so that way it helps me remember where everything goes. So all the bolts and nuts, I try to keep those all together. There that is right there. Alright, those are all on finger tight as well. Okay. We should be ready to remove this bad boy. Yep. There we go. Now it's all a matter of disconnecting the Playfield from the rest of this machine and pulling it out. So begins that. My goodness, yeah, this is filthy. So I believe I've gotten the wire harness to the Playfield and the wire harness to the cabinet completely separated. So I should be able to lift this thing up and out of here now. Let me get that out of there. I think I've got clearance. Hope I do. Oh. Woo. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some blocks up underneath there because right now it's resting on one of the mechs and I don't like that. Playfield is out. Got them currently resting on these right here. I don't want it actually touching. If I wanted to, I could have it resting on this solenoid right here, this VUC that feeds the glove, but I don't want to do that, at least not for a lengthy amount of time, and I've got a feeling this will be in this position for a couple of days at least. But this is what the playfield looks like completely out of the cabinet. Yep. This thing's pretty dirty. So here we are inside of the cabinet. This is where this thing currently sits. Still got the matrix down here, the matri, still down here, stapled and everything. I'm gonna get all these wire harnesses out of here and get those all bagged up or boxed up, one of the two, and start getting the shop vac on all this mess. Man. And this is where we are now. Got all the wiring removed except for the AC inlet right here that goes to the power box. That will be next. But yeah, I'd say a majority of the stuff is out. Cabinet is almost bare bones. Work in progress. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the shop back over here and start getting some of this stuff up. And the shop vac is done. Not going for super clean at this point. Just need to get all the heavy duty stuff out of there. And so it's already looking a lot better right there as it is. But I'm gonna get the rest of this stuff off this cabinet and get it down to just bare wood. Removed some more stuff. I believe all I've got left now is the coin door, lockdown bar, receiver, and the leg cabinet mounts. And then the hinges. And then finally the side rails. Not looking forward to that. Come here, bugger. There. Got all the screws out of there. Alright, I don't want to assess the damages yet until I've got everything off of here that's going to be taken off. So I've already seen a couple of things, but I'm going to go over like everything all at once. I've got it down to where all I need to do now is remove the side rails, legs, and the cabinet leg plates, and the grounding strip. So we'll get rid of that. And once we have everything stripped off of this, then let's go over the cabinet for damages and assessment. Now I know I've done this in another video, but I figure I'm going to do this again on video to show you guys how I go about removing side rails because of this double-sided adhesive. And this is a difficult and a little bit of effort and everything has to be put into this, especially if one, you don't want to damage your side rails, and two, you don't want to damage your cabinet. I know of a buddy of mine that removed his side rails and he was a little rugged with it and took a big old chunk of the veneer out on his cabinet. And I also know someone else, and that guy was me on my getaway. I think if you go through my restoration portion, I have pictures, but at that time I wasn't doing video. But I had pictures about, I think it was like down around this area right here, and I had to Bondo that all over and fix it. So these side rails, I think the left one does have a pretty good size of a dent in it. This one looks pretty good. Of course, I don't think you can buy them separately, but I'm still going to take them off and try to keep them intact. And what we're going to have to do is use the heat gun and this designated scraper right here. I believe the only time I've ever used this in my toolbox is for removing these side rails. Now, so what we're doing is we're heating up the scraper and the side rail simultaneously. This is a giant heat sink, so eventually it's going to get hot. And I want to stress that because once you get to the end and you're having to use a little bit of muscle to pry up, there's a chance that this side rail can fly off and land on your skin and burn you. I don't think I've got the scar anymore, but trust me, once again, learn from my mistakes. So, when you get to the last portion and you're pulling up, be very careful on not to let this land on you. Alright, I might be still a little wore out from the other side rail that I just did, but we're going to go at it. I'm obviously going to speed the time up on this because I want to say each side rail, depending on how difficult it is a good probably 10-15 minutes. Here we go.